Matt and Sage welcoming you back to Sports Center while NFL training camps are beginning. Let's focus on some true heroes for a few minutes because that's exactly how to describe the athletes competing in the 2022 Department of Defense Warrior Games. It's the 13th year of this awesome event hosted by the U.S. Army. As always, it's back at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex at Disney World in Orlando, August 19th through 28th. But today is the day it kind of gets going because it's Media Day for the Warrior Games. And on that note, I'd like to welcome in one of the athletes in this year's Warrior Games, Master Sergeant Ivan Morera, who is competing in 5 events. Let me know if I get these right. Archery, rowing, sitting volleyball, field events, variety of field events, and powerlifting. I mean, any more you want to add there?
No, that's it.
Okay, good. I love the official description of the Warrior Games. This is the quote. It's a celebration of the resiliency and dedication of wounded, ill, and injured active duty and veteran U.S. military service members. We'll get into the specifics of why you're there in a moment, Ivan, but tell us what participating in the Warrior Games means to soldiers like yourself.
I think it brings back purpose to us. Usually sometimes after you're injured, you lose your sense of purpose. And what this does is help you make goals to find that new purpose. And just the ability to compete with other wounded warriors brings a sense of pride and honor to myself and also to the branch that you're representing.
Mm-hmm. Let's find out your story. You joined the Army as a combat medic in 2001, deployed again to Afghanistan in 2013, and that is when your life changed forever. Ivan, what happened?
So I was serving as a Special Forces medic on a ODA 7134, and we were driving down to conduct a mission, and an insurgent came up next to my vehicle that I was driving with a suicide vest, and I moved off the road to avoid him. And when I came back on the road, the vehicle flipped, and when it landed, my left hand was crushed by the ground and the vehicle itself. After myself and 2 other service members were medevaced out, the insurgent came back through and actually detonated himself and injured a couple of other members of my team. I spent 18 months at Center for the Intrepid, Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, and then I went back to 7th Special Forces Group and went through their rehab program, and I was able to get back onto a team and continue to serve my country.
Ivan, I want to take you back to that moment when you were injured and you were on the ground and you said your hand was crushed. What was going through your mind?
First thing I thought of was my family, my wife and my kids, and just praying that, please don't let me die here. I need to see my kids again. I need to see my wife again. That was what was most important to me was, my family and being able to provide for them and see my kids grow up.
How did they rescue you? How did they remove you?
So my arm was trapped between the ground and the vehicle. So my junior medic had to come in and he had to cut what was left of my hand off so they could extract me from the vehicle because I was stuck in there.
I imagine, Ivan, you're in shock at that moment. What were the medics, what were your teammates, your fellow soldiers saying to you at that moment when they had to make that decision?
So my junior medic was like, Ivan, I have to cut your hand off. And I'm like, just do what you got to do, get me out of here. They put on 2 tourniquets on me and went ahead and completed the amputation and pulled me out, put me on a stretcher. And I was just waiting for the medevac bird or the medevac helicopter to come in and pick us up. And I could see what was left of my arm. And it was pretty shocking, but all my teammates were coming up to me, Ivan, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going home. You're going to be fine. We'll see you in a few months. It'll be fine. And when I made it to the hospital in Kandahar, Afghanistan, my commanders came and visited me. My teammates came and visited me, and it was really emotional at that time. But I was making a goal that I was going to get back to the team.
And eventually you did. Take me to that time in Texas and San Antonio during the recovery process, and you had to go through all the rehab physically. But what about mentally? What did you do to mentally stay there during the process?
So for me, it was about my faith. It was my faith that got. It's not just me, but me and my family. We prayed a lot, and we spent time together, and we just knew that, my wife and I knew that, hey, we can do this. We can get through anything as a family. So we really relied on our faith, and we really relied on each other, and we got through it, and we've been able to overcome a lot of obstacles as a family.
I read that you said you're a better man now, a better husband, a better father because of your injury. Why?
Yeah. So before I was injured, my main focus was on my military career, on being the best Special Forces medic I could be. But then after my injury, my priorities kind of changed. I was like, what's more important, my career or my family? So I kind of changed things in my life, and I tried to focus more on my family, spending time with my son and my daughter, showing my wife how much I love her. That is what became important to me. Still continuing my career was important, but making sure that I was raising my kids and keeping our family together was most important.
I think it's incredible that it only took 18 months after that injury for you to complete your first airborne operation, to go back to work at that level. Can you take us through that day?
Yeah, so my first airborne op went really well. I was putting on my parachute. Jump master came in, did a quick what we call JMPI, just checking everything out, making sure everything was fit right. And he was like, "Hey man, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be fun." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Being airborne qualified is a big part of being special forces. Got to be able to insert whether it's an airborne operation or a military freefall operation. But I remember when the ramp opened up, and I was looking at the red and green light at the ramp, and I was like, come on, just turn green, just turn green. And once it turned green, Jump Master was like, go, and I just bolted off the ramp and just got out there. And I looked up, and my parachute had opened up, and I was like, oh, thank God. And I just took control of my parachute, and I was just looking at the ground, looking at the area in front of me. I was like, man, I miss this. I love this. This is what being a soldier is about for me, being able to do these things. And when I landed, I took off my parachute, and I cried. I took a knee and I just cried because like I'm back. I'm back. I'm back to the team. I can continue the mission. I can go out there and serve my country.
Okay. See, you're not supposed to do this to us on TV, Ivan, but I can only imagine that feeling after all that you've been through. I want to point out you are still serving. Ivan Morera,
Yes.
the only one-handed medic in the entire U.S. military, not just the Army, but the entire U.S. military. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm also the only one-handed military freefall qualified service member as well.
Incredible. So what message do you have for people out there, really in any line of work, who might doubt themselves?
Don't ever give up on yourself. Whatever situation you might be in, you can get through it. Whether, for me, it's faith, family, and friends. But whatever, support system you have, rely on them to get you through it. It doesn't matter. You always got to push forward every day. Every day you wake up in the morning, it's a second chance to get better. Your situation will improve, and you're going to get past it, and you will overcome any obstacle. But you have to want it, and you have to work through it. You got to push every day to move forward.
Master Sergeant Ivan Morera competing at, let me repeat it again, archery, rowing, sitting volleyball, field events, and powerlifting. Incredible. Yeah. Go kick some butt. The Warrior Games are August 19th through 28th. You can watch them on ESPN3 and ESPN+. You are a true hero, and thank you for sharing your story with us here on Sports Center. Good luck.
My pleasure. Thank you.